Hello, everyone. Here's your weather hazard briefing for Sunday, August 28th. It will be a little cooler today, but hot and dry weather quickly returns. We do have some issues with critical fire conditions across the Magic Valley today due to low RH and some gusty winds. And we might see some more localized pockets of critical fire weather conditions across the rest of the area for today, but the most widespread conditions and where we have a red flag warning is across the Magic Valley. Otherwise, breezy pretty much everywhere today, although definitely not as strong as yesterday across the area. Otherwise, like we mentioned a little bit ago, it's going to be cooler today. High pressure quickly returns. It's going to be much warmer and much drier, especially as we get towards the middle part of the week. Our low is now moved across Montana into northeastern Montana, right around the U.S. Alberta Saskatchewan border triple point. We do have northwest flow with some pockets of cloud cover moving through. We can't rule out a sprinkle out of some of this mid-level cloud cover, but that's not going to be at the down in the lower elevations. That might be sprinkles just up on some of the ridge tops. Otherwise, that storm's out of here. High pressure begins its rapid return across the region. We did have a few thunderstorms yesterday, mainly up around the Island Park area, on up into Yellowstone and southern Montana. Had a lone lightning strike with a potential cell back towards the Lost River Range, over towards also into the Gilmore Summit area there as well. But it was, like we said, very limited. Our weather risk outlook for today: gusty winds across the Snake Plain, Magic Valley, and in the highlands to the south. We are highlighting major impacts across the Magic Valley due to the red flag conditions in those areas. We start to warm up tomorrow. For the middle part of the week especially, we are going to start to see some increase in heat risk, heat impacts, especially for those that are sensitive to heat, across the Snake Plain, Magic Valley, the South Hills, up towards Chalice, and also the valleys across Limhi County, especially along the US 93 corridor. For today, we talked about those gusty winds, and you notice they're strongest about 25 to 35, maybe a little higher out across craters for the Magic Valley, extending back up towards the INL. Also, the higher elevations, the ridge tops along the benches, and back down into the southeast highlands and the South Hills as well. And you'll notice that's where we also have the lowest humidity, in around 15% or just a bit lower over the Magic Valley, and some of those areas across the southern highlands, the southeast highlands, and up towards Chalice and Salmon. Temperatures for today will be cooler across the board. We're actually going to be running right about average, maybe a degree or two below average today, but 70s and lower 80s down low. If you're headed up into the high country of the Central Mountains, expect 60s and 70s, and the same over in the eastern highlands, the Big Holes, and down towards the Bear River Range as well. We do start the warm-up pretty quickly going into Monday, and we go into Tuesday. We'll see those temperatures into the mid-90s, especially across the lower Snake Plain into the Treasure and Magic Valleys, and down south towards like Oakley, City of Rocks, down towards Holbrook as well. Even low to mid-90s for Chalice and Salmon, near 90 in Stanley. Going into Wednesday, we even warm it up even more. We're going to see some upper 90s, low 100s popping into the forecast through that period. And that's when we also, again, we talked about the increase in heat risk. Here's the heat risk looking at elevated conditions across a good chunk of the lower elevations. Limhi County, Chalice, like we said, the Snake Plain down into the southern highlands, the southeast highlands. And we're going to see some areas might be seeing significant heat risk conditions across portions of the Magic Valley into the Treasure Valley, also down around Oakley as well. Not widespread, but some pockets of significant heat risk conditions, significant heat impacts. This is Thursday, but Wednesday and Thursday are very similar across the board. And looking at the 6 to 10 day forecast taking us through Labor Day, more of the same. Very likely will stay above normal over a good chunk of the western United States, and a decent shot of below normal conditions, below average conditions in terms of precipitation in the same general time frame. Like we said, we do have some gusty winds and low humidity, widespread critical fire conditions across the Magic Valley, more localized conditions across much of the Snake Plain, down into the South Hills, the Southeast Highlands. Again, very localized in those areas. Do expect some wind today, but not as strong as yesterday. And behind that storm, like we said, cooler today, but we quickly warm up, especially towards we get the middle part of the week when we're going to run into those potential heat risk, heat impact potential scenarios running in during that time frame. Otherwise, have a great day. Have a great rest of the weekend. If your weekend happens to fall on this weekend, yesterday and today, and stay safe out there, everyone.